Hey everyone, and welcome to another stream. Let's see if everything was working fine. Cool. Let's refresh this guy. Let's refresh the chat as well. Da da da. Right, we good. How are you doing, everyone? Welcome. So we're gonna quickly go into the Angular Cookbook, and we're going to work on a progressive web app. So we have been working on the progressive web apps for quite a while, and I'm gonna be answering any questions as well. But first, how are you doing? I'm gonna make sure I don't have anything that I should keep open. So we're gonna keep the Angular Cookbook second edition open, and we'll remove everything else. Pa. All right, let's have a look. Cool. Remove this guy. Let's remove this guy. And this. And this as well. Alright, we should have a nice little theme right here. Where's my other account? Oh, there you are. Okay, let's see. Alright, let's see. Cool, awesome. Let's quickly go to the screen. So we're gonna start working on the Angular Cookbook, and we'll take it from there. Oh, what's happening here? Awesome. Alright. The Angular Cookbook, working on some PWAs tonight. Alright, let's quickly publish this. ng book, ng cookbook, TypeScript, progressive web apps, web development, and we'll take it from there. Oh, this should have been a link as well, right? Otherwise, all right. No, I have not shopped for any food, etc. So let me quickly do this, and this should include the link as well. There we go. Awesome. So today we're gonna look into the cookbook itself. So let's go to the book, and I'm gonna pull the changes. What are the changes here? Ah, the engines. Okay, we'll see. Git stash, then we go to git checkout, chapter 13, git pull, and let's ensure we have everything being displayed. Cool. And now I can look into here. So let's see. Close this. Already up to date. Are we sure though? Because git remote pull origin chapter 13. Okay, that means we are up to date. But how? Did I not? Wait a second. Okay, let's see. Open recent. Okay, then I should do push. Okay, now we should have it. So let's see. Zishan, yes, late night. I'm trying to wrap up the book as soon as possible. So yes, git pull. Okay, so this is the recipe that we worked on yesterday, and now I need to just finalize chapter 13. So let's see chapter 12, and if I refresh this I should have chapter 13 as well. Yes, second edition. So let me show you what I built yesterday. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Am I audible? Can I get a thumbs up? And why does this look small? Oh, in the cookbook it's small. So let's see, let's make it a bit big. Let's see, is it good compared to that one? This guy should be, or my camera, webcam vertical rounded, should be somewhat around here. Fixing things on live. And let me quickly change the battery as well. Let's see. And let's also bring the chat a bit up as well. Maybe right here. Cool. There we go. Alright, so let me show you what I built yesterday or today maybe. npm run serve static ng pwa dark mode. Is that the one? No. Let's first run npm install. How are you doing, Zishan? Okay, let's make this. So we're gonna install it, and I think the next recipe that we are gonna work on is going to be, what is it? It's providing a custom install experience in your progressive web apps. So does anyone in the chat know what a progressive web application is? Or have you used a progressive web app ever? Or have you worked on a progressive web app ever? Okay. What happened? It says blah 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 command CodewithAhsan legacy period depths code 1. Okay, we'll see. So then we can do cd start npm I, and we can also do cd, nope, not here. Let's also install another one into final. So let's do a cd final npm install. Why does it fail? It says npm audit for details, but then this one fails. If I go to the log, what failed? Silly log file. Okay. Command failed. Promise spawn. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Hmm. I think it's because the package is already installed, but let's see. So if I go to cd start npx nx run ngp, no, it's ngpwa dark mode serve. Let's see what happens. I think I already have an application, sorry, a video for that. I think so. Let me see if I can find it. I think I have one. I mean, I have the basic one that I can share with you. So that's the one, and so I had two of the videos. I can show you this one. So object-oriented concepts using Squid Game. This is the one that you would want to watch. And the second one is OOP in JavaScript. So you can also look into this one. This is like 35 minutes of video. So definitely look into those. Okay. Okay, so now that I have the application working, let's see if I can run this. So I should have localhost 4200, and this is my application. Now you see that this one, since this is dark mode, you don't see a lot of things like enter your name is not visible, player name is not visible, and a lot of things are not visible at all. But this is a progressive web app, that is, I can install it in my machine. So if I do install ngpwa dark mode, I can install it like this, and there we go. Now we have a native looking application. You can see it has this the minimize, maximize, blah blah blah, and I can also use it as well, and I can also play the game as well. So this is an application that is part of the Angular Cookbook. So I can guess the value of a dice, something like this. 5. I never get this right. 3, 6, 4, 3. Nope. 2. 5. Yay! So CodewithAhsan, you got 50 points. If I go here, I can see my leaderboard. So this game now is using progressive web app. And the best part of this one is if I close this and if I stop my Angular server, then let's see what happens. So I can still see this application on my bottom bar, and if I click this, this application opens up, and now you can see that it doesn't work with the installation, because when I start the application, it doesn't have the cache. So let's try this once again, and I'm gonna make sure that if I go to my, let's see if I can go to my folder, which is here, apps, chapter 13, and I should also have dark mode. It has manifest as well, and the rest of the stuff as well. So I think this should be fine. Okay, so now this is working fine. If I do a reload, copy URL, open in Chrome, I think I should be able to do a, if I type something here, you can see I can see it. And if I try to now stop the server, go here, refresh this, close this, reopen this again, I see that, oh, okay, because it's supposed to, if you have opened it or if you keep it open, then it works, but it doesn't have complete offline storage. I think I need to implement it later on. Yes, that's accurate. But anyways, if I try to do the same thing on the final one, let's see what happens. So npm run, no, let's do this. Npm run serve static, and then we have ng pwa dark mode. And if I do the port, I think it's, do I need to give the chapter here as well? I think chapter 13 dark mode, and then I also need to give it the port. So let's give it the port 8888, and let's see. Thanks a lot, Ahsan bhaiya. Keep smiling always. Amin. Jazakallah. So this will create a production. Okay. I think that is because I was not running the production bundle as well. I was running the dev environment. That's why. So let's try the app now with the production mode. And then we should also have one application with request using Angular service worker. So this is now the application 8888, which should be the one that is installable. And now here, oh, wait a second, what? Oh, this is still the start application. And here we should have final as well. So when we say final, then it's going to create the one from final, I think. Let's see. Nope. Where's my script? So in here we have serve static. When we say final, it should run npm run build with final, and then it should run this, right? Oh, so now it's running for production. Okay. I stopped it too soon. So npm run serve static. So this should spin up the server, but it should also develop or build the application in production. And once it does build it in production, then it should generate the progressive web app. So let's wait for this to finish. And let's see.
Yes, you're good at your job.
No, not good at your job. Chapter 12, chapter 13. All right, so the build is still building. Let's wait for that. And we should have it right now. So now if I try to go to my app, refresh, there you go. Now you can see this works with dark mode as well. I can go there. We have nice little UI. I can probably guess the number. 4, no, 5, 2, 3, yay! And now I can go forward, and now I have 100 points. And then I can do install. It installs the application. And then I should be able to see the app working like this. And this should not be the one. So if I do install like this, now I have the application right here. You can see using the dark mode, I can go back, I can refresh here, and you can see that I can type something, refresh, I can type my name again, go here, try to guess some number. There we go, guessed on the first try, and now I have 150 instead of 100. And now if I stop it, then go back and refresh, you can see that the app still works because this is a progressive web app. So this behaves like a native application, and still I am able to run this even if my server has stopped, because all the HTML files are actually cached. So if I go here in the network and if I refresh, you're going to see that all of the requests that I have, for example, the HTML, the JavaScript, everything is coming from this thing called the service worker. So if I refresh, service worker, service worker, service worker, memory cache. So everything is coming from the service worker instead of the actual server or actual Angular server. So that is one of the good benefits of having progressive web app, that you can run offline. You can run it offline. You don't need to be online all the time. And this is a game. So if anyone wants to play the game, once they have downloaded it, even if they're offline, they can essentially use it. So I think that's pretty nice. Hi, just joined. What are we working on? We're looking at another recipe of Angular. So now what I've done today is I implemented this recipe, which is using dark mode in the Angular application. So this one, when we start an application, it looks something like this, and I'm not going to be able to see that, but let's see if I can serve this on 4200. So when we start this particular recipe in Angular, it doesn't look good at all. It looks something like, let me show you, install. So it looks something like this. You can see that this text does not show. This text shows, but whatever I'm typing here does not show, and this right here. So we added dark mode to our progressive web app. So this was already a progressive web app. You can see the buttons here, close, maximize, minimize. This acts like a PWA on its own, and I have the icons for it. So if I go to search, you can see the applications right here, right? As you can see here. So what we did was we converted that into a progressive web app, and actually added dark mode. So this one, now as you can see, if we compare it side by side, this shows, whereas this was not being shown before. So, and then we have a game. You can go in there, you can try to guess the number that's gonna come on the dice, and if you do it right, then you get some points. 4, 1, 3, 5, 3, 4, 6. Nope. 1, 4, 2, 5, 3. Yay! Finally. So I got 50 points. And now if I go forward, I can see my leaderboard and I can play the game again. So that is essentially, but the good part is if I go to dark mode, system wide, this is our PWA. And if I change the color of this PWA, for example, if I make it small, put it here, and then I go here in the personalization, and then I change the color, see what happens. So if I change this to light, you can see that now this works in the light mode. So I still have my name, everything seems nice. And if I change this to dark mode, then everything goes dark. Super cool. Thanks. Would you mind giving an overview what is exactly a progressive web app and why do we need it? So the first thing of progressive web app is that you can install it. So I have this installed in my Windows machine. I can install this application into an Android, which means that you will have the application's icon on the home screen. I can also install this into a MacBook, which means that I can go to the search bar, then click directly on the dark mode, and then it opens my application just like this, as you can see. Which means I can also uninstall these applications as well. So if I go here, you can see the uninstall button. So I can uninstall this progressive web app. I can also uninstall it right from this list, right? I think if I try to find ngpwa dark mode, so I can uninstall it, remove, uninstall, remove, uninstall, remove, and then I can uninstall all these applications that I have added as a PWA. So you can install progressive web apps, that's the first thing, but then it has more things to it. You can have them installed, you can have offline support for those, you can also have certain features. I think the access for the browser or the OS APIs is not great, but still, it's something that they can work with. For example, if this was a clock application, you could just have the clock on this side all the time without having to open your browser, if that makes sense. So you have a shortcut to it. That's the easiest part. I hope that makes sense. So now that I have stopped my server, the next recipe that we are going to look into is to use pre-cache. And I think there's a really good idea on progressive web apps. Let me try to find it. Web.dev PWA. I also gave a talk, I think, way back. So this is a really good resource for PWAs. Like, what are progressive web apps? What makes a good progressive web app? Why is it important? How to define your stall strategy? So there are too many things for PWA. So I think it cannot be covered in one stream, but it's a really interesting topic. Another thing that I remember now is, I think if I go to YouTube, I think desktop, if I remember correctly, desktop PWAs. I think I gave a talk on desktop progressive web apps when they actually became live. From Angular to PWA. I don't recall what was the name of the event, but I gave a talk at desktop PWAs in, let's see if I can find it. Desktop PWAs Ahsan. Yeah, this one. So I gave this talk 3 years ago, and it's about what are desktop progressive web apps, why do we use them, what are the benefits, what are the use cases. But it was Venture Drive, or an event in Venture Drive. So this is how I looked in 2020. With the amazing haircut, as you can see. What did I do? Oh, I created a progressive web app for a... I remember now. I actually created a progressive web app for a game that for a hackathon that I participated in. I created this thing called Care Genie. Is it still live? CareGenie.firebase app. CareGenie firebase app.com. Oh, it's still alive. Will you look at that? And it's a progressive web app as well. So I can install it. And there you go. So you can see I installed it as a desktop or a desktop application. And if I close this guy, continue with Twitter, widget logo, vote for us is my... Oh no. Skills matter more than the haircut, yes. If I do continue with the Twitter, let's see if this still works. It's gonna be amazing if it still works. You should talk to no, I think that the server itself, I think it's pretty much dead. I think if I refresh the application, this sends a this should send an API call to... I would be amazed if this worked, to be honest. Home timeline key, blah blah blah. Home timeline key, tweets by users, John Papas and Rasul Khan. I think yes, caregenie.hirokuapp.com tweets. I think this server is dead. I'm pretty sure this server is dead. Tweets by users, home timeline, widget logo. Damn. Yeah, but you can see how cool the UI looks, at least. Credits, dashboard, icons by FreePick. Ooh, fancy. But the Twitter login, it seems like it's still working. I'm not seeing any of my images though. um, HTTP failure response. That's super cool. Yeah, the fun part is I don't have the access to the repository anymore. I think this was or I remember this was supposed to be within the hackathon repository, and now I don't have access to it because they removed the access. But yeah, have a look at this talk as well. Are you? There you go. So this is when actually they announced, or Chrome announced, that progressive web apps are going to be available as desktop applications. So Chrome, I'm not sure if Safari allows it. Maybe it does now, because Safari has always been a challenging player in the case of progressive web apps because it gets installed via your browser. For example, YouTube is also a PWA. So if you click this button, you can install YouTube as a progressive web application, and then you can open it as a PWA. For example, here, if I close this, now this is YouTube working as a progressive web app. So here I can now go to YouTube, I can minimize it, I can expand it, um, I can close it, and this is not part of the browser. As you can see, it also has a back button, which seems super nice. So anyways, uh, cool. Let's close this. So what we are going to do is we are going to do a pre-caching for the users. So what we did is if we want to go offline, do you install it on Android via browser too? Yes. So if you go to your browser in Chrome and you go to YouTube, or you go to Twitter, or you go to Twitter was one of the coolest progressive web apps ever. But you can also go to any of the sites. I think my site now is not a PWA. I built it as a PWA, but then I just removed it because it was not worth it. Um, but if you go to, I think GeoNews even is a progressive web app. So if you go to, for example, youtube.com, you'll see the button that says add to home. When you do it, you can actually add it to home. And this is what we are going to do now. So we are going to provide a custom prompt for adding the application to the home page. So that's what we are going to do. So let's create a new project. We're going to do npm run create chapter 13. It's going to be called ngpwa custom installation, and we can say that the title is going to be this. So it's going to be providing a custom installable experience in your Angular PWA. And by the way, when I run this command, I actually run my own schematics, which means that I have my own code that generates an Angular project within the Angular Cookbook scenario, which has some magic to it, which is like renaming the application and whatnot. So now if I run npm run serve ng pwa cust installation, this should start the application on localhost 4200, and we should be good. So it should start the application right here. There we go, providing custom installable experience in your Angular PWA. Now you notice that this is not a progressive web app, as you can see, right? So we need to make it a progressive web app. So here you don't see the installable icon. So we are going to add the PWA via nx. So nx Angular PWA, and I think that is for internal use only. I think this is not the one. So I think when it comes to PWA, Angular PWA, I think that's the one. Angular PWA. Let me see what was the command that I ran. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it is. Okay, now I know the command. So this command should be cd start. It is npx nxg angular pwa ng add, and then we have project that is ng pwa custom installation. So we add this. Oh, we also need to see. Oh, we already set the project. That's fine. Sorry. And then we should be. I think the packages are already installed. Cool. So now we have the PWA done. If I now run this again, this should give me the installation icon now. So we'll see in just a bit. Cool. Now you can see the install prompt right here. Okay, so this can be now installed as a progressive web app. So ng pwa custom installation. All right, now that we have this, let's copy the code from the previous recipes final to this one. So we're gonna go to chapter 13, dark mode. Was it dark mode? Yes. And then we have the app that is right here. So let's copy the app and let's take it to the start apps, chapter 13, custom installation source. We're gonna delete the app folder and we're gonna add it right here. Let's copy this guy from the HTML to app component HTML right here. Okay, so now that we have this, we're gonna run this on a new port. We can pick a different port. So let's see which port did we pick the last time. So we did pick we picked the 6400. Now let's pick 60. No, let's pick 7000. So I'm gonna copy some code and paste it right here. So give me 1 second. And for those of you who are wondering about the about the blurred side, so that's the Angular Cookbook. All right. Okay, so there we go. The project. Oops. The project for this recipe resides in blah blah blah. We remove this guy, and we have the 70. Let's make it 7000, and this is going to be called ngpwa custom installation. We could also have said just custom install, but okay. Let's see, ngpwa custom installation 7000. This should be edit link. Do you hear my kid? And then we have this should open the app in the new native OS, and you should see the following. Okay, so now what I can do is, now that I have this, we're gonna run this command. Let's see. npm run serve static. When I deploy on. Yes, I can imagine. Let me quickly. All right, let's see. Cool. Okay, so now we have the app. You can see absolutely it doesn't look like it is working. And that's interesting because, oh, then I need the global styles for this one. So in chapter 13, we also added some styles in the styles.css. No, it wasn't the, no, what? No, in the final abs 13, dark mode, source, styles. So this is the only one that we need. I think apart from that, we fixed it in the HTML itself. So then I need to add this right here. And then if I go to my page, refresh. Oh, I need to build it again. Let's do it. Let's close this guy, unpin from this taskbar, unpin from the taskbar. And the PWAs, when you install them on Windows, it seems like they pin it automatically into your taskbar as well. All right, so now this works with the dark mode. Now what we want to do is to not have this install experience here, but we want this to happen in the flow. So one of the things that end users don't like is when you open an app and you start saying install me, install me, install me. So that is something a lot of people don't like. I personally don't like it as well. So what we are going to do is, first of all, I'm going to take a screenshot. No, should I take a screenshot? All right, let's install this. So this is PW custom installation. If I install it, we get this right here. Now you'll notice that we have this problem. So this is purple, this is blue. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our code, and there is supposed to be a style that I'm going to copy from manifest, which is this color 7E22CE, which is the purple color. And then I'm going to paste it in the index HTML, and I'm going to paste it in the manifest as well. So when we build this again, this color that you see is going to change to purple. Just wondering, can we do SEO with Angular Universal as effectively as we do with Next? I would say yes. It's almost the same. COK says, how can someone new in industry crack their first job or entry level as a job as a software engineer within Pakistani ecosystem? I think the key would be to have a really good portfolio. To be honest, there's no other shortcut. So you, even if you are a beginner, the situation right now is that everybody wants to earn money as much as possible, and they can't have people who are super junior working on projects. And companies usually don't have, there might be companies who are still doing it, but a lot of companies now don't have the luxury to train a lot of people. And that is a bit concerning and sad at the same time, but that is the reality. So I think your best bet is first that you pray that you get a job. And then secondly, just do your maximum effort to create your portfolio. All right, now you can see that the color matches the other one. So we're super cool. And now we want to uninstall this. I'm going to uninstall the PWA, clear the data, and now we're going to start working on the other side of it. Refresh. Cool. So now what I want to do is I'm just going to write something, and you can ask the questions in the meantime. ng pwa cust installation running at http localhost 7000. Now that we have the app running, see the next steps. Okay. For this, when the user makes a correct guess. So let's do this. When I think if for this game, now thinking about the business mindset here, you have a dice rolling game. When would you want the user to install the game, right? One of the things could be when you have when the user guesses the game. For example, if I do this and if I try to do this and I get a red, then you are saying, hey, can you please install? And they would be like, no, I don't want to install. I just want to guess the right number. So how about when the person guesses the function correctly, only then we show this prompt, right? That would make much more sense. So that's what we are going to do in the recipe. So first of all, I think we should create a, should we create a service or should we create a, I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of what is the best way of showing this. Should I use Angular material? Should I just implement my own? What should we do? We want to keep this simple, really simple. So let's first create, I think we can, I'm thinking. All right, let's do this. We're going to create a service and then we're going to take it from there. So git add dot clear git commit m feed ngpwa custom installation starter files. Then we do a, then we start installing the service. So we say cd start and npx nxg service, and then we say installable prompt project ng pwa cust installation. That's a huge command, but this is what we have. So we're gonna go with schematics Angular service, but at first I'm gonna actually paste it in my book so I don't forget about it. Okay, so then we do, have I made a typo? No, ngpw custom installation, blah blah blah. And then I can also say schematics Angular service when asked. So then I can say when asked, use this schematics. Okay, now what we can do is we can work with the service. So here we have installable prompt service, as you can see right here. We're going to change some code there. So in here we can say something like okay, so so let's do it like this. So we should have something like when this is initiated for the first time, and since this is going to be a provided in root, this only triggers once, then we should do something like window dot add event listener, and in here we could have the before install prompt prompt. Okay, so we have this event, and then we can say whenever this event happens, call my function, which should be something like handle install prompt, and this is going to be an event. And then we can say something like this dot handle install prompt dot bind this. So we still have the context of this within the TypeScript. Let me zoom in a bit. Then we can say this event. So when we have the add event listener of install prompt, I think we should still have the event. I'm not really sure what kind of event it's going to be, but we'll see. Then we can say event.prevent default we might have we might have to Google what happens when we have the before install prompt. So TypeScript before install prompt event. Pa, pa, pa. What is the type of it? It is called before install prompt event. Okay, so this is supposed to be before install prompt event. Should this be correct? Browser compatibility table before using this in production. How do we get it from there? Only supported by Chrome and Android, blah blah blah, da 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 da. I mean, we would have to add our own type to it. That doesn't sound nice, but we mm-hmm. All right, let's take it from here. So if then I have to import the type, then we have before install prompt, which is a type. It extends the event. It has a read-only platforms, user choice, accepted or dismissed. You have the platform and the prompt itself as a promise. Then globally, we are adding the before install prompt to before install event, which means that this now also makes sense. Cool. Then we know. Then we can start working on this dot installable, because we need to have install prompt as before install prompt event itself. So event, and then we can say this dot install prompt event equals to event. Then we are going to have to say console.log before install prompt event fired event. And then what we can do is we can say window.remove event listener before install prompt. And then here we can say this dot handle install prompt. Okay, so that means if we add this to our application, then this will not show the handle install prompt. So let's run this. We can say npm run serve ng pwa cust installation. Now I'm running this into the dev mode so we can code faster. But I think we need to create the types for this, so we can create a type for this. And I think the good way would be to define this, I think, in the d.ts file. I would rather put this into a d.ts file, but we can see. Okay, so now that I have this running, I can refresh. And you can see here we still have the install icon, but that is because we are not using the, we're not injecting this anywhere. So let's make it work, then we'll fix it. So now all I need to do is to add this to my app component. And in here, I just need to say prompt service equals inject prompt service. Oops. I think it's installation prompt service, installable prompt service. So now if I run this, this should not show it. If I click this, what happens? It says install. Let's see, let's double check if there is anything that we have missed. Or let's think about it. Do I want this to be in a service, or do I want this to be in my main TS? If I do it in the main TS before this, then I think that makes much more sense. So then we don't need to have all of this. I am thinking, but then later on I won't be able to get access to it if that happens. Okay, let's see one thing. So if I save this file, if I go here, now you can see that here it says before install prompt event fired, and then this is being fired. So we do have this being stopped, right? But this button is already here. So if I open a new tab, I still see it. And I still see it. So event.prevent default. But then if I install it now, it does install it. But then it's not supposed to stop the event. It is supposed to not show the installable button. I would assume so. Oh, now I remember. Now I remember. So initially they used to just show it right away, but now we can show it on our own. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Now that we have the button, we should say something like then let's do it like this. So we can have something like, so let's then remove this. So this should be in here. In source, I think we could have a folder called types, and we can say installation prompt .d.ts. And if I do this, then I should have this one right here. And then I would also have to say in my TS config, there should be something called types. Wait a second. So I I do remember something like that, but I don't completely remember it. So TypeScript include d.ts. So then we should be able to have the d.ts. I mean, when we do it in the ts config, compile option type roots. So here we have type roots. Yes. So in this case, we should have type roots where we have compiler options, type roots, and in here I can also say source types. And now I can run this again. And I think we should have them. Yes, no. Or would I have to then, wait a second. Would I have to then define the type slash installation prompt .d.ts? Would this still cry? So we have type roots, specify multifolders that act like node modules that types. So if I can only say types, then shouldn't this be happy if I just say source slash types? Oh, it's a type roots, right? So this should be fine if I open it like this. So type roots typings, vendor types. Yeah, I think it should be fine. But then Wait a second. But then what are we supposing to have? D.ts. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. So in that particular case, are we referring to, and in this case, we have the tsconfig.json, which is right here. So we say source slash types, and then we have prompt.d.ts. I think ideally this should work, but why does it not work? Even before installing it, why is not? Event and event are incompatible. Platforms, user choice. Uh, uh, uh. But this makes perfect sense. But then does this not make sense? Oh, okay. So then our types should be there, but the global stuff would still be would still have to define here. That makes perfect sense. So then I can go ahead and do this, and that should be fine. So let's quickly do it. So we did create the service. Then we said now open the created file, installable, installable prompt dot service dot ts, and add the following code. So then inside here we did add a couple of things. We should be adding the types, the global stuff, and the imports. Let's quickly add this right here. Okay, so the code is not more than what it was before. Cool, that's nice. So then we can just do this guy right here. And we can also say, now we need to define the before install prompt event in the types, and we'll add custom types for it. Let's add let's create a folder named types inside the source folder, src folder, and create a file named, what was the name of the file? Installable prompt.d.ts. Copy this, paste this, and add the following code to it. All right, let's add the code. So the code that we have in the d.ts is this guy. So we do this interface. We make this all bold. And then we can say, should we call it installation dash prompt that d.ts? I think it doesn't really matter, to be honest, but still. And then we have installation dash prompt .d.ts. Okay, so now that we have this, we have to update the tsconfig file to adjust it, and we added type root source types. Let's add that as well. No, we have to add the types folder in the tsconfig.json so we can load the types. Update the tsconfig.json file as follows. So then we update the tsconfig.json. We can also add it right here. and then we copy and paste the code. So this should look something like this, which means this should look something like this. And I need to copy the code and then comma dot 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 dot, and then we can have a bunch of things, but the idea is to have a dot 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 comma, and then I need to make everything not bold and this guy bold. Cool. So now I am in the book, I've written steps till here, and then we just need to run it. Now to build the custom dialog, we can use the dialog module, or we can use the tailwind model for this. Let's see if hyper UI has some nice. So hyper UI kit. So we do have this one. I think we should have a dialog. No. Modal. No. What? Banners. Nope. I do remember they did have some sort of dialogues. No. Modal. hmm. Hmm. All right. What do we have here? Detail list. Drop down. This is detail list. Alerts. Badges. Not really. Breadcrumbs. Button groups. Header. Progress. Radio group. Slack. Side menu. Toggles. Nope. Text areas. Announcements. We could use something like this, right? This could be fun. So if I have an Angular service that shows the data like this, then I think we should be good. So banners, not really. Block cards, not really. Announcements, maybe. Maybe something like this. A slider, not really. I don't think so. But I think this is probably something like this. I think this would be easier to implement than the dialogue itself. I don't think it's worth implementing all of that. So something like this could be nice. So then if I want to implement something like the installation prompt, then that means that the service now has to interact with the element itself. So what we could do is we could have a signal in the component where we can then show or hide it. So then we can say something like in the app here we have this guy. Now if I go to my app, you see love alpine js. Check this out, check out this new course. So here we can say love the dice game, install it. So here we have love the dice game, install it. And now to show that, and I think we should probably have the same color. So this is going to be purple. So this looks nice. Love the dice game, install it. And now if I want to show or hide it, I can use a signal for this. So I can say something like const show install prompt. And this is supposed to be a signal. And this is not going to be a signal by default. And the signal type should be Boolean. And then what I can have in the prompt service itself is a signal as well. Show prompt. and this is supposed to be a signal of boolean. And then in here we can say this is going to be false. Oh, what am I doing? I can just say signal false, and signal is going to be from Angular core. And then what I can do is actually that this, when we want to handle the prompt, we assign the install prompt event, and then we can say something like uh, is prompt, or is prompt banner shown is a signal. Okay, then what we want to do is we can, in the app component, have I mm, I think I could directly bind it with this, to be honest. So I can do something like ng if prompt service dot, what is it called, the is prompt banner shown. So then I could do is prompt banner shown. If this is the case, then we show it, otherwise we don't show it, right? Now I think all we need to do is when we go to our game, then we start to show it. Now if I refresh this, this still shows. Why does it show? Oh, my lack of experience with signals. There we go. Now what I want to do is I want to go and I want to set the signal when it comes to it. So I can say services game actually, and when we have the correct answer, show result. So if this is the correct guess, then we set the score. But then I should also say this dot is we have to get the service here. So we can say something like prompt service equals inject prompt service, installable prompt service. And then we can say this dot prompt service dot is prompt banner shown, right? Dot set true, which means that whenever there is a correct guess, it's going to set this to true. So Ahsan, go here. Now I have to make a correct guess. Yay! And now you can see that as soon as that happened, we got the banner. Awesome, right? This is super cool. Now that we have got this, clicking this should then show the prompt. Okay, so that means then if I go back to my app component, in here when we click this element, I think this should be, I mean, yeah, we can say click. When this happens, we can say show install prompt, or we could directly say prompt service dot show install prompt. And then we can go to the install prompt service, and here we can say show install prompt, this dot install prompt event dot. What do we do when we need to show the prompt? Then we do this. So we say async const choice equals await. Okay, what? Await this. Then we can check const. Wait a second. when we do a prompt, what do we get back? We get back a promise of void, right? Then we can say equals await this dot install prompt event dot user choice, and then there is an outcome of this. So we can say outcome, and then we can say console dot log the user, the choice of user is outcome, right? And then we can say this dot install prompt event equals null. Should this be null as well? Do we want to make it null? I don't think so. What did we do with choice? Nothing. Remove it. Okay, so save this, and let's try this now. Ahsan, go. 3, 4. Yay! Love the dice game. Install it. Yay! So we can click something that shows the event, and now I can say cancel. And if I can go to inspect, here it says the choice of user is dismissed. Cool. Then I can quickly go here again, click install, and in here we have the outcome. Now if I click install, then I installed it, I have the outcome waiting for me, and then I can say the outcome was accepted. Woo! Let's go. So in either case, we should be removing the what do you call it, the element itself. So in this case, we could say, hey, in the component, if I am doing the banner shown dot set true, camera gone. Oh yeah, I did. My battery ran out. Oh, this was a long recipe. Okay, let's do it real quick. So now if I go to my service, when I do install prompt, then right after the outcome, I should just say this dot handle or is prompt banner shown dot set false, and that should hide the installation prompt. So I say Ahsan, go here, click 3, 2, 4. Yay! Love the dice game. Install it. I click install. It says cannot read properties of undefined. Because I've already installed it. What? Oh. What happens if I do a refresh? Now if I do Ahsan, so in the case of installed, this doesn't have the event at all. 4. Now if I click install, we get an error because yes, the event is undefined. So that means when I do this, if not this dot, if not this dot installation prompt event return, and then we don't have to worry about anything. So then if I refresh now, click this, and go here, click this guy. Yay! Now if I click this, then it just returns, nothing happens, does not crash. But then we shouldn't even be showing this because this is already installed, right? So do we have anything in the PWA that says I'm installed? Because if this never happened, then the prompt banner shown, I think we should have, I'm thinking, is prompt banner shown. So here we can say this dot, uh, because here then we would have to check if this dot is prompt service install prompt event. If that's the case, then we would show it, otherwise we won't even show it. So then we got this guy, we selected something, didn't come, didn't come, didn't come. 5, 6, 2, 3. Yay! Now you can see that we have no messages because it's already installed. So if I uninstall it though, then I should be able to see that. So then if I go to localhost, what was the link? 7200. Not this one. So if I go here, localhost 7000, then was it not this one? Oh, it was 4200. So then if I refresh this, go here, Ahsan 3, 2, 5, 4. There you go. Now you can see the message right here. And then if I click install, shows me the install one. If I hit cancel, the dice message goes away. Cool. But that also means if I have to show this again, you see it again. So you could remove it permanently if you wanted, or keep it. But if you want to make it persistent, then yeah, I think we should probably uh, keep this in the local storage. Here's a reward for you in the form of joke. Why did the scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Yeah, I think I've heard that before. But still funny. Yes. So okay, so in this case, I think let's add a bit more space to the bottom. So it's fixed inset x 0 bottom 0. Let's add bottom 10. So then I think we can just show it for now. So okay, so this is where it would show. Awesome. So I think in terms of just the working of it, it is nice. I don't think I use I don't think I use anywhere the local storage. Maybe I can give that as a to do to the readers, but I think this is a really good start. Then we have pre-caching. I think that's easy. Then we have the shell. It is easy-ish, and then we should be done with the sorry, with the recipe, or with the chapter even. Cool, looks nice. Install it, cancel, install it, cancel, install it, but I want to cancel it. Anyways, so this is really nice that we are able to do this, right? You can see we click this, it triggers the install, and then we can either install it or cancel it. If we install it, we come up with a PWA. Now if I click install, nothing would happen, of course, but this shouldn't be showing when we have installed. One thing I do want to check, to be honest, is I also want to uninstall this, by the way. One thing that I want to see is checking if the PWA is installed already. So in this case, do we have something that window.matchMedia display mode standalone? Aha! You can use Windows on a bigger get install related apps. And then you can use it. So get installed apps in Window Navigator. Aha! Fancy. So that means I can use related applications. Then I can use install get related apps. This is really interesting. Here's a simple function that tells you is the app an open browser and the PWA original source link. I think this is what I'm looking for. Mm-mm-mm. Uh, Sorry, I'm looking at the messages now. Which headphones are you using? Which is a good choice, wired or wireless? I think it depends. For these ones are really good because they provide a lot of flexibility for me. The good part for this one is, for example, these are Steel Series Wireless Pro something something, and I think if you look at their Steel Series Arctis Pro Wireless, so these are the ones. Um, do they have their own? I can share the link with you. So these ones. So one of the things that is really nice about this one is that it has this thing, the DAC. So you do have the ability to first of all adjust the volume. Let me show you. So you can adjust the volume with it. You can also see the levels or the volume level, blah blah blah. But the best thing is that here you have, if you can see, so this one actually has a battery. So what you can do is, if I can show that to you, so what you can do is you can keep charging another battery while you have your headphones plugged in. So I have here the battery, so this comes out, and then you can see the battery right here. So the good thing about this one is that you can have unlimited audio time because your other battery is charging, and as soon as you see that this one is going off, you just swap it. So it's really nice, and it does allow it does allow wireless connectivity with this as well, and it has almost no lag or delay. So it's I think it's one of the nicest ones there, and it also contains the ability to connect with Bluetooth as well. Yeah, so it says 2.4 gigahertz lossless plus Bluetooth. So this is what is the nice part about this, and I think right now it's about $400 or something. But is it the same as the wireless Nova? Yes. So I would rather recommend to use these ones. It depends on what is your use case. If you want it for gaming, then it's different. If you want it for I don't know, just sounds, then that's a bit different. I don't listen to songs, so I have no use for bass or anything as such. But I think in general, the quality of these ones in terms of sound itself is pretty nice. So yep. Mm, mm, mm. So we have app installed already. Okay. Aha, interesting. Hide the install button, provide back button when launched in the noise. Interesting. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna at least keep this one to myself so I can work on this or share this with myself later on. But I think I'm gonna end the stream. It was fun building it. I think I'm gonna see if I'm comfortable pushing the code at the moment, or maybe I'll do it later. But I think now is the time to go off, to be honest. So thank you everyone who joined. Allah Hafiz and take care. I'll see you later.